Hello. Hi, good afternoon, and welcome everybody to our webinar on building rapport with candidates using NLP technique. So this is the second webinar of our recruiters training webinar. The first one we have done a couple of weeks ago, and I hope most of you were a part of that webinar. So we have started this series of training webinars where we share the recruitment industry best practices. So I'm sure most of you have already attended the previous webinar and enjoyed that webinar. We have shared the recording also. You can see that on our YouTube channel of CandidateZip also. So please do not forget to forward this to all your recruiter friends who want to join our upcoming webinars in recruitment training series, and they can get benefit from that. So a brief introduction. So I'm Paramdeep, CEO of CandidateZip. So what CandidateZip do, we connect your source of resume or CV with your ATS or CRM. And the best part is that CandidateZip is a no-code resume and job parser. So no-code means there is no API integration. You need not to do any kind of technical hassle. So CandidateZip can extract resume data from 400 plus sources like Gmail, G Drive, Dropbox, and lot more. And then we can send that parsed data into your existing ATS or CRM like Bullhorn, Salesforce, Google Spreadsheet. So currently we can connect with more than 300 ATS and CRM. So as I mentioned earlier, there is no technical hassles, no API integration. So initially one-time setup of just 5 to 10 minutes and you're good to go. So the unique part about CandidateZip is it's free to use and does not require any credit card to sign up. And you can start using it free of cost. So we are recording this webinar and we'll share the recording at the end of this to all the attendees. And in coming weeks, we are doing a lot more webinars about recruitment industry best practices. So don't forget to check our upcoming webinar on our website, candidatezip.com/webinars. And another webinar series that we are doing, that is about product training of CandidateZip, where every week we are showing, taking example of different source and different ATS or CRM, how to extract data from your source, how to send data to different ATS CRM. So do remember to check those webinars and register for these webinars also. So now I'm going to introduce today's webinar speaker, Vinay Chauhar and Lovepreet Dhaliwal. So Vinay, he has more than 18 years of experience at different leadership positions in various companies. Hi Vinay.
Hi Param, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you so much for taking time to be a part of this webinar and sharing your knowledge with recruiters and different attendees who have joined this webinar. So Vinay worked to build companies from scratch and scale them to global level. So he's based in California, San Ramon right now. So he's passionate about team building, building business canvas and global growth. So Vinay, I have one request to you. Well, definitely in future I have a plan to conduct a webinar about business canvas with you. So we'll work out some time and we'll definitely do that webinar also.
Sure, love it, love it. Business canvas is in my blood. That's what I do it every day.
Yeah, I know that. I have seen, I've attended one event where you were a presenter of business canvas, and I was very impressed. You have explained that in a very good way, very easy way. So whoever want to
was that in Singapore one or San Diego one?
Singapore.
Oh.
Great. Okay. So Lovepreet Dhaliwal. Hi Lovepreet. Thank you very much for your time, and thanks for being a part of this webinar series. So Lovepreet, he has also more than a decade of experience at leadership positions with different companies, and he's passionate about building sales and marketing process by using innovative and killer B2B sales practice. So anybody needs any suggestions about marketing and business, especially in a startup scenario, so he is the right person to contact. And he led international teams and taken organization value proposition to global level. So thank you both of you. So all yours now. So Vinay and Lapri. So please go ahead with that.
Sure. Thank you very much, Param. Let me share my screen here. So before I start, I just want to ensure that everybody is getting my voice. Anybody who's not getting my voice, I just want to say yes, if you can post it on the chat group. Oh, wow. I can see a lot of people over there. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So this is what we're going to talk today. What is NLP? A small introduction, not very long one. Then we also do a small 2 minutes refresher from the last training, and people, I can see that almost 4 or 5 people are first time into this webinar. So if you have missed that one, you can see the YouTube, or if more session needed, we can arrange it more and I can talk in person to you guys too. Third is attributes we need to build. Now, this is a little bit tricky. People think NLP, I can control another person. No, that's not the way it is done. NLP is my changes, the way I change so that the other person can work the way he wanted. So first starts from the self. So I have to change myself. That's what we talk about. And then today's topic, it is a very interesting topic. When I was preparing, I was highly motivated on that how to connect and motivate others. We talk more about the motivation style. Last time we talked about learning styles. This time we are talking about more about motivation styles. And then in the end, we are going to talk more about a few practical use cases so that we are all sure what exactly is going on. So let us talk about introduction to NLP. So what is NLP? So N stands for neuro. Everybody understand that is a neuro-linguistic programming. So neuro is your brain. It is all wired communication. A lot of electricity is popping up in your brain. That is what neuro is. Linguistic is what people talk. Now, people can talk with eyes, with face, with the words, with the hand gestures, with the body gestures. So it is all combination of everything. So NLP believes in that what you think, what you talk. Now, you can think something, you can change those words, and then you talk. But believe me, when you talk, your still thought process get transmitted even consciously or unconsciously. Your facial expressions, your eyes, a lot of things will get transmitted to that. And we will be talking on that too. And programming is, if we talk about programming is more about the instruction or set of instructions that can create a certain set of outcomes. Like today we talk about motivation. We all try to motivate other people, and as a human behavior, we do follow that one. But sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, right? So if it doesn't work, let us see why it is not working and why it works. And you will be able to identify when you leave this whole presentation, you will be able to identify at your end to understand why it works. And this is exactly works with a candidate. Sometimes you say some words to candidates and he agrees. Sometimes the same words to other candidate doesn't work. Let us talk about it in a separate one. So NLP is a purely is a methodology to understand or help a change human behavior patterns. It is not something controlling them. People normally say it is controlling. Pattern is known as programs. So I can build up a rapport with a guy. I can motivate him. I can change a behavior in a person. I can excite him to do something. And this is all via the language patterns or neurological patterns. That's what we talk about. Right, Laprit, why don't you give them a refresher for the last time? You are the star for the last presentation. Can you go ahead and give a refresher for the last time?
Sure, Vinay. So let me just start sharing.
And just to add it, if somebody has a question, just raise a hand or put in a chat box. We'd love to go ahead with that.
All right, so just a quick refresher for those of you who weren't there in our earlier webinar. So in the first one, we talked about a unique aspect of NLP, which was the VAK method, the visual, auditory, and kinesthetic learning styles of individuals. So just a quick refresher on this. So what this means is every individual has one or the other, or sometimes both of these learning styles, and they are motivated, or their communication style is dominated by a certain number of words, which can be categorized or classified into visual words,
auditory words, and kinesthetic words. And as you can see on the slide here, so visual words are anything that depicts vision. For example, you see, I can see, this looks fine to me, or see you soon, look forward to it. So anything that is related to vision, that is usually incorporated by these individuals into their speaking style, and that's what helps them to grasp new information. So if we are able to change or tweak our sales scripts, our way of addressing people, our conversation style to person who has a visual learning style, so they would be much more receptive to us, they would respond in a much more positive manner to us, thus helping us with our objective. And the same thing is true for auditory. So anyone who uses words that resemble the auditory style, like I remember I'm talking about, what you say, talk to you soon, good talking to you. So these are examples of phrases or words that people with the auditory learning style, they mostly use. And the third one we talked about was the kinesthetic style. These people have a more hands-on approach, so they're more involved with the touch and feel of things. So I felt like this, I learned this, I experienced this. And so nice is an example of a kinesthetic word. So if someone uses nice, that gives you a hint of what their learning style could be. And of course, there's no one learning style that is usually present. So people are complex, and based upon that, they can have multiple learning styles. So it's like Vinay shared earlier. So NLP and any concept inside it is not about changing what the other person is doing or saying. It's about the change in ourselves, or rather, I wouldn't put it as change. I would put it as a learning. How we can learn what motivates other people so that our communication style can become more effective, thus helping us in our objectives. So that is what we learned earlier. And now let's understand motivating others. So what motivates us? So the focus on today's webinar would be the motivation style, and we'll discuss in detail what these two styles are. So first, before we jump into that, let me quickly start a poll with you guys. There we go. So that poll should come up on your screens. Let me know if it hasn't. Okay, I can see votes are coming in. That's great. So the poll consists of 3 questions. So go ahead and fill these out, and then we can share the results. All right, we're 1 minute into the polling. Let's give it 30 more seconds, and then we can see what the results are like.
So this is just remember the answers, what you guys are giving. I'm going to talk the same answer at the end of the presentation. And it will be very interesting to know your motivation style first.
All right, last 10 seconds. If you haven't voted yet, please do so, and then we can see the results. All right, so let me quickly share the results. So you should now be able to see the results. So the first one was, I am proud when. So the 2 options were getting things done, and the second was solve problems by thinking things through. And the second one was, in school, I like to, first is ask questions. Second is, I learn from when others ask. And third is, I believe schedules keep me organized or are useful tools to keep me on track. So we'll talk in depth what these results mean, why the 2 options are there. So there's a specific reason why only these 2 options were chosen for each of these questions. And you'll be surprised by the insight that we can provide just by these simple questions. So let's continue on with our presentation. Let me share the next slide with you. All right. So this is a meta program which was first identified by Leslie Cameron Bandler in 1970. So when we listen to people, to what other people have to say, so that corresponds to what we will hear, how they think and feel about situations. So the key thing in any communication is not just continuously bombarding people with whatever script or whatever sales pitch that you have. The key to sales, and that's what I've learned during my career, is listening. So the best thing you can do to talk to any prospect, be it a candidate, be it a sales deal, or a B2B company, or even a C-level person, the best thing you can do in a communication style with these people is to listen. Because only when you listen will you be able to figure out something new, some new information about them, maybe their learning style, maybe their motivation factor, what drives them, and then you can fine-tune your pitch to suit them more. And you can add those feelings and styles in our communication, because, and like we talked about in our earlier webinar, the basic foundation is building rapport with people. And you'll only be able to build rapport if you actually know about the person, know a little background about them, know what motivates them. And that comes in when you listen to people. So listening is key, not just speaking. And so we'll talk about motivation and how that pertains to the NLP style of doing things. So in NLP, motivation has a direction, which means you could either be motivated towards achieving something, or on the other hand, you could be motivated away from something, some undesirable effect that you have. And these are the two ways that we understand motivation in NLP. And the key part of understanding motivation is the words that the person uses to express this direction of motivation that they have. So let's have a closer look on how we can identify this. So the language patterns in NLP, especially when it comes to the motivation direction. So there are two basic directions, like we talked about. First is away, and the second is towards. So away motivation is the fear of something. Maybe you're trying to run away from a problem. Maybe you're trying to avoid a certain pain that you have, or maybe it's just a rational or irrational fear of something untoward happening to you. So that motivator that motivates you to do something so as to avoid a certain adverse effect, that would be an away motivation. So an example would be I don't want to drive fast because I'll get a ticket, right? So that is an away motivation. So a towards motivation would be I don't want to drive fast because I want to stay safe. And staying safe is a towards motivation. But avoiding pain, I don't want to get into an accident and get hurt and break a bone, that is an away motivation. So in both aspects, the object or the action that we're doing is the same, with driving fast or with driving carefully, but the motivation differs. You could be driving under the speed limit to stay safe, or you could be driving under the speed limit to not get hurt. So there's a subtle difference between the two, and it's very critical that we understand the motivation style that we have. The same thing for towards motivation. So people who are motivated by achievements, goals, targets, financial gains, or gains for recognition at the workplace. So these sort of people are running towards something, right? So they're trying to achieve something. They're not running away from something. So this sort of motivation is usually seen in sales personnel, people who outperform others. So usually the top 10% are considered to be people who have a very strong towards motivation, and this towards motivation helps them to achieve their target. So in an organization, there's no one or right or wrong way to have a motivation direction. People are unique. Everyone has their own style, and believe it or not, in an organization there is room for both of these motivations. So you also want to achieve targets, but you also want to minimize your losses. So there are specific departments that value each and one of these traits. So a few other criteria of defining towards motivation, like we talked about. So anyone who is motivated by goal setting, anyone who thinks about what it is that they can achieve from an activity, some gain or some pleasure. People in the field of sports or other fields where you can compete to get ahead, that is their motivation. Anything that helps you to promote yourself, or anything that helps you to start a business. So starting a business is also towards motivation. You don't start a business from fear of failure. So when you talk to CEOs, and I'm sure Vinay will agree in this aspect, so starting a business is in of itself a huge risk. And people who are usually motivated by the towards motivation aspect have a huge appetite for taking risks. So they're known as risk takers. This is because their motivation is the goal or the end benefits that they see.
What he talked about earlier was the towards motivation. That's what exactly is happening. And then we have away motivation. Like away is more into look out for the perceived threats. So these guys are very good at identifying the threats. Tendency to seek solutions. They always go ahead and seek solutions out of this whole system. I just want to ensure that you guys are able to hear me. Can you just say yes in a chat box? That will be great if you are able to hear me. Lovely. So then they are risk averse. So anything you plan, anything you want to do it, they always try to avoid the risk. what's coming up. So they don't want to ensure that things are good, perfect, and then that's how they have to work on that. Avoid disasters, that's another one. So they are very good in avoiding the things coming. So it is not something towards, it's always away. You can see all these words. More aware of pitfalls. Who doesn't want to know before you execute anything? So these guys are very good on that. If I talk about more about towards in that, so towards is want to get player by the success of achievement. Whereas away, right? If I talk about more about away, let me write it a pen. They want to avoid pain that can happen if they fail to achieve. You see, this is a word, avoidance. This is towards. So they talk about goals, targets, rewards, success, players, gains, and they will talk about don't want to happen. They avoid pain, discomfort, and losses. That's what they talk about. And when they ask what they want, even sometimes they said, okay, I want to do something. Originally, they will tell you in a don't manner. Examples we are going to cover today, and a little bit more examples comes up. So if I talk about, now we go back to here, and I really want to hear from everybody's yes and no, right? How you qualify yourself as a yes into this whole pattern or no. That we all have tried to motivate, and we all are very good, and we try to motivate everybody, right? It is not something which is there. So if you want to try to motivate everyone, sometimes you are successful, sometimes there's a failure. Everybody has their stories, right? Or for all these 4 points, if you can say yes or no to the chat window, that would be awesome for me. I know that you guys are listening to me, and my message is getting transmitted. And one motivating sentence works for few. Like everybody in the recruiting, we say something to candidate, and candidate always says yes. He gives you appointment, he go for the interview, or he joins the company, whatsoever it happens. But it fails for the others. It doesn't work for other guys. And sometimes we feel stuck that I fail to motivate others. I want them to take some actions, but we fail to that, right? That's what exactly happens that time. So we have to understand that whole aspects, what exactly is going on here. Many times we feel that we are not yet connected to others, right? We have to understand what exactly is going on. So sometimes we feel stuck in that, and many times we feel that we are not yet connect to others and before we motivate them, right? That's the whole exactly we want to work on that. So what solution here is, what we propose here is, one, be a good listener. Everybody talks about it. Today we talk more in depth about it. How to be a good listener and what exactly need to be listened. Let's understand the other person's motivation style. It is towards or away. And then change our words as per the person's get motivated. So again, the concept comes up. Let us understand other person and then change myself. I'm not going to change another person. It is myself. I have already got one comment that which is good or bad. Believe me, both are good. Both are needed. There's nothing we are not going to quantify which is good way of towards is good or away is good. Both are good. Both can achieve the same style. Let us take an example. So one guy like Lapit has given example that I drive safe, right? I drive slow because any reason. So one says I do daily exercises. An answer is to build a strong body. And second says to avoid a heart attack. So you see the difference between these two things? So they are all two are different ones, what we talk about, right? Second is I'm learning new things in my career because I want to finish my work faster and better. Or second says I want to save my job. Risk aversion and something which you want to do is better ones. I reach office early. I want to be more productive in office, or I will be punished if I reach late. You see the difference between the end result is same. End result doesn't change. They're exactly the same way. So few words which people use, I want to, in towards, in their conversation when they're conversing to you. I will achieve, my goal is, pick friends, or they more talk about achieve, attain, obtain, include, or have, or get, right? They pick up friends who challenge them, right? It is the towards guys. And they take a break when they have to talk to the friends. They don't take a break just okay, they want to take a break, not like that. In comparison to away, they use a word called I have to. I have to finish these things. I have to meet this deadline. I have to do that stuff. Right? I don't want to. Right? They say it that way. They use a word solve, prevent, avoid, eliminate, get rid of. All similar words. They pick up friends who don't bother them. You see the difference? Here they pick a friend who challenge them. Right? Here the guy is who they said, okay, let us, he is not going to bother me, he's my best friend, right? Always moves away from what he doesn't want. If he doesn't want something, he'll try to avoid, maybe change a route or something is going to happen. Take breaks when he's uncomfortable and tend to good at the pinpointing obstacle. This is the best part of this guy. If we are deciding something in an office and different people are there, a way of motivation guys will always pinpoint you, okay, these are the 10 things you can fail. And believe me, that is a very good thing because you get it out before you start and you can start working on that. Second, they are always motivated to solve the problem. If there's a problem coming in any task they are doing, they will not leave till the point that problem is resolved. That's the biggest away motivator guys has the power, which nobody else has. Even towards guy cannot do that way, right? They are motivated to show, they don't, like let us say two guys are solving a problem. One want to show tomorrow that, okay, I'll show him tomorrow that, okay, I'm a good guy, I've solved it, right? Second is because there's a problem, he wants to solve it. So both has a different things mechanism. Now, answering this question, which is better or not? You can be successful in both. Let me be very honest, both are good. I'm not, it is the individual, best for individual life. Somebody is towards works for them, somebody is away works for them. You cannot say away is good or towards is good. No comparison to that. No way you can compare it. Only thing is you can change your languages so that it can work better way. There's a very good example, Martin Zigwe, who can see that in the stock market, everybody wants to make money. But he goes to the stock market to minimize losses. That is his motivation. He has a book. If anybody wants to search him on Google and go to his book, he is a guy who wants to take a pain, respect his limits, and our idea is to avoid losses, not to make money. So everybody can make anything. Players, all who wants to achieve gold medal to win, right? That's how it is all goes on. That's what it goes off. So which one is better? No way. Nobody is good or bad. Both are same. Both are good. There's no comparison. You cannot say apple and oranges can be compared. No way. Both are apples, both are oranges, and both are best ones. Let us say, what exactly, how we communicate with them. Let us say. So if I'm telling somebody some message to somebody, if I take the first one, that's a good examples which can say, to achieve, here are the actions we are required. And to away guy, I can say to avoid last minute pressures, here are the actions required. Both are going to get the same motivation. Both are going to get the same results. But only thing is my languages, my word selection, that is different, right? Secondly, I can say we all need to work to achieve my numbers, right? We all need to work to avoid tough times. You see, I have used a word something, avoid and achieve. That's the difference in my languages, where the message is same. Do you agree to this? Just say yes to the chat box if you agree that these messages are going to get the same thing. But even you are saying, you are right now attending this seminar, right? You can also see that one string really gives you a kick and excites you to finish the things. One doesn't excite you. That's the whole difference that comes up. This offer will help you to get a work-life balance, and this offer will avoid any work-life balance conflicts. Both are talking about the work-life, right? Only thing is one I said avoid, one I said to get. So this is the way you'll get a friendly environment in our office, right? So you can talk about everything you can talk about. Any questions here, you can go ahead and put in the chat because I'm about to close this whole discussions. So I really want to see that any questions comes from your side. Right, so these are some things. Now let us go back to the poll that we created earlier. And everybody has, you remember your answers, right? So first answer we talk about, I am proud when get things done. Solve problems by thinking things through. You see the difference. This is, I'm sure you agree with this. This is towards, right? This is away. Now, to relax, I tend to learn something new. Rely on consistently relaxing activity. Again, it is away. I don't want to learn something new. We avoid it. Like to do things right away on the schedule when it feels right to me. Right? I'm not saying towards motivation cannot do procrastination. Procrastination is a very different mode. Right? When I talk about this presentation, what we are building, showing you today, till yesterday there was no presentation. It is all done today. It's not something like towards or anything. Though both can get to it. In school, you ask questions, and this is avoid asking questions. Right? You see the difference between that. I believe schedules keep me organized and are a useful tool to keep me on track. So it is on track. It helps me to avoid anything which is not on track, right? I like to be reorganizer because organized, neat, and on time became clever, curious, and good problem solver. That's what exactly we have. So hope I'm able to add something when you are listening to the problems and you can talk about the candidates, like what exactly is there, right? So both directions are good. Let us finalize it, summarize it before I go further. And I have a small video which I really love. Everybody should listen to that. It is a beautiful video. After this, immediately after, just 1 minute. And then we have another announcement before I close. I have another example at the end. We'll kind of talk about it. Now, both directions are good. No judgments, please. Right? And that's a promise in NLP. We are not judgmental. We are just curious to understand what this person is. Add motivation directions along with the VAK. If anybody has attended VAK last time, so if you can add a motivation along with the VAK when we talk, and you will see the get things moving much faster and less conflicts will come up. And I'm telling you, not by theory, it is all we are practically sitting here. We are all utilizing these techniques like day in, day out. It's become our habit. It is no more a learning style. Sometimes it is confusing, like person uses a complex sentence, which is a combination of two words and a way both. Okay, it happens, right? People are complex. People are not simple, like black and white. In that case, best practice is stay neutral. Don't use anything else. Stay neutral into that. It is okay to mistakes initially, and slowly it becomes your behavior. That's what I'm saying. I have one video for you, right? Let me, I'm sure Joel Osteen is a very good motivation speaker, and it's all for you.
Our words can be life-giving water. I've found people are thirsty. They've gone through heartaches. They've been beaten down in life. We have something to offer them. Our words can help heal the hurts. Be aware of who's in your life. Be sensitive to what you're feeling down in here. Take time to let people know that you care. Our words have the power to lift people, to help them get through a challenge, to push them into their destinies. I love you. I'm proud of you. You did great on that project. You're not just being kind, those are healing words. Everyone needs encouragement. Everyone needs somebody that's cheering them on, somebody that sees the best, somebody that tells you you're still handsome. You can be that person for the people in your life.
So that's the whole motivation here, that let us go out, let us go to the world and tell them that yes, we all love everybody. You are a great guy. Motivate them in a better way. Earlier also we motivate them. And this motivation style works everywhere. Your family, your work, your partner, your friends, or anywhere you want to motivate anybody. Listen, first understand their motivation style towards or away, distinguish it, and start using the same words, same style of motivations. That's what I have, and I think I'll come back to you. And Param, it's all yours now.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Vinay. Thank you very much for these useful insights about towards and away motivation. Thank you, Lapit, also for sharing your knowledge and taking time to attend this webinar. So something more about CandidateZip, and you can just visit our website, CandidateZip. We have a lot more to offer to recruiters. Not only a free tool, a lot of other things that we are sharing on our website. And do visit rchili.com. That is the brainchild of Vinay Jauhar. So this is his website for HR technology, so you can visit that one also. So we have a couple of other useful sources for recruiters. So CandidateZip not only do this parsing thing, we have recruiters with the latest news information. We have created a community that is called Recruiter for Recruiters. That is a community on Telegram. So where different recruiters from all parts of the world, they connect there, interact with each other, meet their fellow recruiters and share their knowledge, their best practices, what problems they are facing, how they solve them. So they simply share on this platform their experience as a recruiter and share that with the fellow recruiters. So to get the latest information about the recruiting events, webinars, podcasts, etc., you can join this community on Telegram that is called Recruiter for Recruiters. So I will recommend that all recruiters must join this. We have more than, I think, 1,200 members there from all parts of the world. And then a couple of other sources for recruiters. The first one is recruiterlife.org. So this webinar, this website, you can come to know about recruiters' life, what their daily tasks are, and you'll get a lot of fun-filled quotes, blogs, images, inspiring stories of recruiters, what challenges they are facing and how they overcome those challenges. Briefly, all about the journey of a recruiter's life. So this website also talk about upcoming recruiting events from CandidateZip and from other sources also, all webinar events. And another one that we are working on, that is HR Tech Info Center. So here we are trying to provide all the latest updates about HR technology. So keeping in mind the problems faced by recruiters, so we are working on that, publishing latest news and other categories like product launch, fundraising, merger and acquisitions, etc. So this website also mentions all the upcoming events of HR tech industry, not only webinars, all the events that are going to take place in near future anywhere in the world. So that information will be there. So you can just go through that, and it will be helpful to all the recruiters. So one special announcement, Vinay, Lavpreet, we have just created one special coupon for all the attendees of this webinar. So whoever is attending this webinar, this is especially for those people only. So they will get, we have a coupon, I am special. So they can use this to get 75% discount for complete 1 year on CandidateZip website. So whenever they'll subscribe for any plan, any product, they can use this coupon and will get 75% discount. That is for a complete 1 year, 12 months.
Look like you increased from the last time. Last time it was 50%. Now you did 75%.
Yeah, it was 50, but now we have increased that to 75 because it was a very good response from recruiters, and they asked for something extra also. So this time we thought of giving 75% discount to all the attendees. So at the end of the event, we'll share the recording also. We'll share this coupon details also. So whenever anybody want to subscribe to CandidateZip, they can use this coupon to get this huge discount. And one more request to all the attendees. In case you want to share your best practices, please reply to our email at team@candidate.com. You have something to share, then we'll get in touch with you, and then you can also be a part of this webinar series. So, but it will be strictly about recruiters, tools, recruitment industry best practices. So if you have something to share also, definitely we can get in touch with you, and then you can be a part of this webinar series. So once again, thank you all the attendees. Thank you very much, Vinay Johar and Lavpreet Dhaliwal. Thank you for taking time to be a part of this webinar series. And definitely we are coming up with more webinars. As I mentioned, we are running 2 series. One is for the best practices in recruitment industry for recruiters. So that is, we can say, as a kind of training for the recruiters. They can learn from other recruiters what latest tools and best practices are going on in market. And the second one, that is for candidate users or whoever want to use CandidateZip. So this is about product training. So they can just visit our website, candidate.com/webinars, and they will get all the information, date, time for these upcoming webinars.
Lovely. That's a good to know.
So thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. So anything you want to add, Vinay, Lavpreet?
Sure. If you guys have any questions, you can either post it here. I'm here for next 30 seconds. You can surely post it here, or you can send to CandidateZip. That is a team@candidate.com, and we will reply them one by one precisely. I remember last time when we did a VAK, after that, I just want to share with everybody. I got a message on my LinkedIn. He found me on a LinkedIn and then connected me and sent me a message that it is awesome. And he has a questions. And I love to answer these questions. These knowledge is not something my proprietary. It is all for you guys. Idea is go back tomorrow or even today, start understanding your visual, auditory, kinesthetic, and a motivation style of a person, and change your words and see the reaction. Your 30-minute discussions get shrink to 5 to 6 minutes. That's the whole powerful thing I can tell you it is going to happen. And it is a magical thing. It is magical for us in the sales or when we talk to the people, and I'm sure it is going to create a magic to you. If you face any issues, just connect it to us. We can do a few 5-10 minutes phone call or a Zoom call, and we can discuss that. Thank you, Param. Thank you, Laprit. I'm signing off.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.